Hey everyone, welcome. Today, we are going to tackle a little piece of English grammar that can seriously make you sound more professional at work. It's called the passive voice. And I promise, by the end of this, you're going to see just how simple and, honestly, how powerful it can be.
But first, let's just get this out of the way. For a lot of people, the passive voice feels like this super scary, complicated grammar rule, right? Something you should probably just avoid. But what if I told you it's actually a really straightforward tool that can totally level up your professional communication?
So, in this first part, we're going to pull back the curtain and show the passive voice for what it really is, just a simple, super useful tool. Let's get rid of the fear and replace it with some clarity.
And believe me, this is not just some boring rule from a grammar book. This is a real, practical skill. You'll see it and use it every single day at work. It's how we describe processes, how we write reports and updates, and how we write those clear, professional emails.
Okay, get ready for the aha moment. Seriously, the secret to finally getting the passive voice isn't some crazy formula. It's just a simple little shift in how you look at a sentence.
So, check this out. This is the core idea. The active voice, that's what we usually use, focuses on the person doing the thing. Someone fixes the problem. But the passive voice, it just shifts the spotlight over to the result. The problem is fixed. See? It's not about who did it, it's about what happened. That's it. That's the secret.
So, the bottom line is this. You use the passive voice when the action is way more important than the person who did it. And that's exactly why it's perfect for talking about systems and processes at work, where the what is almost always more important than the who.
Okay, so now that we get the why, let's jump into the how. And here's the best part. You don't need to memorize a million different rules. For pretty much every professional situation, you only need two basic forms. That's right, just two. You can forget about those giant, complicated grammar charts. For clear, professional English, we're going to focus on the two forms you will use like 90% of the time, the present simple passive and the past simple passive. And here's the recipe. It's just 3 easy steps. First, you start with the object, the thing that's getting the action. Second, you add the right form of the verb to be, so is, are, was, or were. And finally, step 3, you add the past participle of the main verb. Easy. Let's look at some real-world examples. For things that happen all the time, we use the present. The report is sent. For stuff that already happened, we use the past. The system was updated. Notice how the focus is always on the report, or the system, not on the person who did the work. Okay, so we know how to build it, but the real pro move is knowing when to use it. When does the passive voice actually sound better and more professional? Let's dive in. You're going to want to reach for the passive voice whenever your goal is to be objective and formal. It is perfect for focusing on a process, for sounding neutral, and for reporting problems in a way that's all about the solution. Just listen to this. The mistake was corrected. It sounds so professional, right? It's focused on the solution. If you say, I corrected the mistake, the focus is on you. The passive is less about who gets the credit or the blame and more about the outcome. Now, you sometimes see politicians use this to dodge responsibility. The classic mistakes were made. But when you use it ethically, it just creates a really professional, neutral tone.
Here's another really powerful example. The decision was made earlier. This sounds really authoritative. The focus isn't on who made the call, but on the fact that the decision is final. It just adds a bit of weight and seriousness to what you're saying.
All right, for our last part, let's make sure you can use this new tool perfectly. We're going to quickly go over a couple of super common mistakes so you can just avoid them right from the start.
Okay, mistake number 1, and this is the big one. So many people write something like, the report sent yesterday. But without that verb to be, it's not actually a full sentence. It's missing that crucial little word that connects the thing to the action.
And the fix? It's so simple. Just always remember to include is, are, was, or were. The report was sent yesterday. Boom. Now it's a perfect professional sentence. That one little word makes all the difference. The second common trap is what I like to call a time travel error. You see yesterday, which is clearly in the past, but then you use the present tense verb is. The system is updated yesterday. It just doesn't make sense, and it's going to confuse whoever's reading it.
And again, the fix is just as easy. You just have to match your to be verb to the time. Since the update happened yesterday, the verb needs to be in the past. The system was updated. Simple as that.
So look, if you take only one thing away today, let it be this.
The whole point of the passive voice is to put the focus on the action, not the person. It's a tool for clarity, for professionalism, and for focus.
And now, I've got a final thought for you. Think about your own job for a second. What's one process or one report or a regular task that you could describe using the passive voice? Go ahead and give it a try. I think you'll be surprised at how natural it sounds and how much it can improve your professional communication.